Betting on sports can be hard, but hiring Morgan & Morgan is easy. Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury law firm. They have over 100 offices nationwide and more than 1,000 lawyers. Their fee is free unless they win. For more information, go to forthepeople.com/bestbets or dial #law, #529 from your cell phone. That's forthepeople.com/bestbets. This is a paid advertisement.
That's what I always say. You always follow the money. Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
Here we go. Welcome in. It is Follow the Money on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Mitch Moss, Pauly Howard with you. We are live in downtown Las Vegas from the Circa Resort and Casino. Very busy Wednesday edition lined up over the next 3 hours, including former NFL MVP Rich Gannon. In 15 minutes, we have to get to the bottom of this with him anyway. He's a voter for awards in the NFL. His thoughts overall on Sam Darnold. Can he win? Is he going to vote for him? Somebody else? What does he think of the fine print that the NFL changed after Damar Hamlin did not win the award a year ago? Pauly, we were asking for it, and they delivered. The Atlanta Falcons pulled the trigger, and Kirk Cousins is no longer the starting quarterback. They announced today that Michael Penix is going to be the guy, not only this Sunday against the Giants, but moving forward. And so the reaction is already out there that this is already it then for Cousins. He'll never play quarterback ever again for Atlanta.
Yeah.
Can you believe it's gotten to this point?
Yeah. So now it's the standoff. Either trade me or pay me, because he's got the no-trade deal. Nobody has made more money by doing less than this guy. I credit him and his agent. It's an all-time gun in a ski mask.
Are you talking NFL overall, or
I think ever? Look how much money he's made. He's won one playoff game.
I could go down that path with NBA contracts. We can go into Hollywood if you would like. Yeah. But in the NFL, certainly, he's right at the top of the list.
You can give me a Hollywood person. I can still say at some point they've done a good movie.
Ashton Kutcher?
And it's done.
Do I have you?
Yeah, it's a tough one.
Okay.
Dude, where's my car? But that is, but what he's done here, and this, I'm excited to see what he can do Sunday. He can't be any worse. As we talked about yesterday, they were hiding him, running the ball exclusively on first down. The weapons are there. Good job by Morris saying enough's enough. We can still make the playoffs. And the line came down to 8.5. The Giants are also going back to Drew Lock. So, dead team, probably get the number one pick in the draft. I think it could be bombs away. I'm excited. Spread it around. Let's go. He can move. You can do more things with him. He's mobile. Coach him up. Yeah, again, it's an indictment of the organization that Ledbetter came on, who covers the team, so they think they had ready. He wasn't getting snaps, reps, whatever, but quick turnaround. Let's go. And I want to see what it looks Sunday, and then get ready for Washington. Suddenly you can win that game, make the playoffs.
Okay, so what would you rather bet right now? Because Atlanta, before this news, with Kirk Cousins as quarterback, they were laying 10 in this game against the Giants. And you just said it. Because of the news, now Penix goes in, first ever start for him at this level. They're down to 8.5. Would you rather lay 8.5 with Penix, or would you rather lay the 10 with Kirk Cousins?
Oh, absolutely, Penix.
Oh, so would I.
Absolutely. He can't be any worse. He can't be. You can also do design stuff for him where it should be. Again, holding on to the ball, not trusting himself. Penix can just, bam, quick throw. Stuff Cousins couldn't do. And don't turn the ball over. 1 touchdown, 9 interceptions the last 5 games. There you go. Cousins was number 1 in interceptions. He was tied for the league lead in fumbles. He can't be any worse.
Well, he could be pretty bad still. I mean, there's a scenario, good thing for him, and they're making this move now against a really, really bad team and a terrible defense. Penix can go out there on Sunday, not light the world on fire, be bad, but also I would still tell you then it's the right move because clearly there's something wrong with Kirk Cousins. I mean, it's obvious to anybody with a set of eyeballs who are, they've been watching his games lately. Mm-hmm. It's not, the INTs are one thing, but go out there again and look at the zip on the ball. There is essentially none. The fact that you're spot on with that, hiding the play calling here, and they want to run the ball on first down and constantly on early downs, which is not a recipe for success in the NFL nowadays. And I would point again to the body language. He knows something's wrong. But how the organization, if you go back, and shame on me, I took them 4th overall in the snake draft or the NFL futures draft out here. But I thought they had a path, right?
Yeah, they did. I can't kill you. They did. Easy.
They were 42-1 when I took them on that free roll that I had. Mm-hmm. But I was going to go Lions. They were gone. Whatever. So they had on paper the easiest schedule for a back-to-back seasons in the NFL. 4 back-to-back seasons, I should say. They also brought in Cousins. They then added Judon and Simmons with the defense. Brand new coaching staff. But again, it goes back before that when they could have had Bill Belichick, and he never even finished in the top 3. And then you sign this guy to all this money, and on draft night, you need help in a lot of other spots. Who do they take 8th overall? Michael Penix.
Mm-hmm.
So from the end of last season to today, it has been an unmitigated disaster for this organization.
Got to pay him $90 million for not even a full season. Let that sink in. How much money they have to pay this guy.
Well, here's Andrew Brandt. He was with the Packers front office for a long time. He's very sharp when it comes to this kind of stuff. He said, here's what's more than likely going to happen with Cousins. He will be released in March with a post-June 1st designation. He will make $27.5 million next year from the Falcons or another team after making $62.5 million this year. He will not make $10 million guaranteed in 2026. And as you just said, the Falcons will have paid him $90 million for a partial season.
Now what? Is his career over? Could he wind up here if the Raiders keep winning games and blow the pick like they usually do? I mean, where's he going to go?
Yeah, he could. I mean, there are odds up right now, globally speaking, his next team next year in 2025 to take a snap with, if not the Falcons, Titans are 4-1. Seahawks are 9-2. Browns are 5-1. Then the list goes Saints, Giants, Raiders. As much as I'd like to say that, I mean, he needs to get healthy first. One of these teams, I'm sure, will be a landing spot for him. Don't you think?
Browns no, Seattle no, Tennessee no, New Orleans no. Giants will draft somebody. I think maybe the Raiders, and I just...
Why not Tennessee? There's no way they can come back with Will Levis.
They're going to go young. I don't think they're going to sign an aging veteran and try to do it that route. But then again, they're saying we're not giving up on Levis. What Callahan said today. So.
Right.
Seattle could be a playoff team. So as bad as Geno's bad, Cousins isn't the answer either.
This team was 6-3 at one point this year, and they swept Tampa Bay.
And he was great. He was great in the Thursday night game. 5 touchdown passes.
Oh.
And he was great in the road game. And that's when Pitts had 2 touchdowns. Oh, there he is. What a weapon. They found him.
And because of that, they had a stranglehold on that division.
Yes.
And now I'm not going to call it a miracle because the betting odds don't suggest that. But it's a long shot, kind of, in my opinion, anyway, for them to make the playoffs.
Well, it's the best thing that happened to you. At least you have a chance now. I mean, they were going nowhere with the guy. Yeah, we know it was going to happen. They're probably going to squeak by a bad Giants team, and then they were going to get blown out Sunday night in Washington. Now at least you have a chance and there's hope. Maybe there's growing pains and he can't make any plays, but I'm sure the locker room's excited and the guy's got plenty of weapons. He's got a rocket for an arm.
Yeah, I would have thought about going to him after the bye.
Could have done that
when
too.
They got blasted by Denver 38-6.
That was bad.
And then remember how awful Cousins looked against the Chargers? But everybody said, you can't bench the guy when he goes back to Minnesota. They were actually in that game early on, and then the wheels fell off.
Yeah, that was more on the defense. Right.
Yeah.
I remember I bet the Cowboys. I loved Dallas in Week 9. They won that game. That was when Dak played and they were healthy. Mm-hmm. And they followed up with that stinker against the Saints, the Denver debacle. And then, the Charger loss was pure insanity and what happened in Minnesota.
Yep.
So, but still a chance, though.
I think Atlanta's chance, sight unseen right now with Michael Penix. I can backtrack after what I watched this weekend. I think he gives him the best chance against Washington too next week.
Mm-hmm. It's a winnable game if he's okay and he doesn't turn it over.
Right. Because I'll tell you this. I absolutely would have had Washington on my card at the number. Was it 3.5?
Yep.
With Kirk Cousins, I think that was going to go just sideways for him big time against Washington on the road. Now, I'm kind of off it. So we'll see how it plays out. But there's no way you could go to war with that guy anymore.
Nope. You kicking yourself for missing one last night? I never thought of this. Shame on me. A young team stuck 4 days in Las Vegas. What could go wrong? Thunder. How did I not see that? You're going to be fine once you come in. You beat Houston. You look great. You're one of the best teams in the NBA. Then you got 3 days to screw around in Las Vegas. Young team against a veteran team. Horrible performance. Milwaukee blows them out. Why didn't I see that?
Well,
damn it.
How much you chalk it up to them being here in Vegas? And by the way, Adam Silver said today that he would absolutely consider moving the cup from Las Vegas. So do with that what you will. They just couldn't shoot the ball last night. Is that because they were hungover from a 3-day bender in Las Vegas? or they just had an off night. They had a lot of open looks, man.
Well, sure. They also made $200,000 by getting to the game. And then it could make more change by one. But that's another thing, too, if they were hanging out late, whatever. But that certainly was that angle there, too. And Milwaukee's hot. They won 11-13, and they're playing defense. And freak, these MVP odds market has plummeted. Triple-double. Guy's been awesome. I'm not going to fool around with the threes and the long jumpers. Right. I'm a big guy. I'm going to attack. And he was awesome.
He appears to be like a man on a mission this year.
Yeah.
And by the way, file that away for next year if you didn't do it this year. Regardless if it's in Las Vegas or not, maybe some other neutral court location, the unders with the cup have been a thing now back-to-back years.
6-0. How about Memphis? I can't believe they kicked the field goal in that situation.
Well, I could rant about this game for 10 minutes. I can't believe the running back went out of bounds on that final drive when West Virginia had no timeouts and Memphis couldn't get a stop to save their lives on defense. The whole thing was falling apart right in front of our eyes.
The landing spot, it had it all. Of course it comes 5.
Everyone
wins, though. Everyone wins.
Well,
Merry Christmas.
Unless you were late to the party, laying the 5.5 or even the 6 with Memphis. Yeah. Then you're killing yourself.
Well, you can't do that.
Of course. I know.
Yeah. Grab Brad Powers' little buyback, and he hit both. VSiN Holiday, perfect gift for you. Sign up our holiday special. Everything we do through May 1st, $79. Every best bet, every host, every guest. Jan Sanity. You have until tomorrow to sign up. The betting splits, DraftKings and Circa, the dog videos, the college football playoff betting guide, VSiN.com/subscribe. Everything we do. Adam Burke up there today with the 2 bowl games. You got Mackinnon with the betting systems, Hoops Peterson on the buckets. Everything you need. VSiN.com.
Up next, former NFL MVP Rich Gannon is going to join the program. We will get into Sam Darnold and the Comeback Player of the Year award. Rich Gannon has a vote. Remember, they changed the fine print last year after Damar Hamlin did not win the award. Where does Gannon stand as a voter with Darnold this year? We'll ask him coming up next here on VSiN.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
No joke, I have been looking forward to this segment the entire week as former NFL MVP Rich Gannon joins the program now every Wednesday, 4:15 Eastern, 1:15 Pacific, right here on the Progressive Guest Line. Good afternoon, Rich. Thanks for the time as always. How are you?
Guys, I'm doing great. A lot to get to, so let's start rolling. A lot to talk about on a Wednesday in the NFL.
Here we go. As we say now, like every week with you at this stretch of the season, you are an awards voter in the NFL. I want to remind people that the league changed the spirit of the Comeback Player of the Year award last year after Damar Hamlin did not win. It says this in the fine print now. The award is to honor a player who has demonstrated resilience in the face of adversity by overcoming illness, physical injury, or other circumstances that led him to miss playing time the previous season. Where do you stand with that? And as a voter, who are you looking at to vote for in that award market?
Well, there's some gray area, guys, when you get to the other circumstances part of that description. I think what happened last year, there was a little bit of a upheaval in terms of Joe Flacco winning the award last year and not Damar Hamlin. Damar Hamlin was obviously a big story in the NFL coming off of a very significant situation in a game the prior year. But he didn't play enough snaps, right? And I think that was really what hurt him. I mean, when you look at him being inactive for so many games last year with the Buffalo Bills, he's now starting. Of course, he's one of the guys on that. If you look at the odds right now, Damar Hamlin's name's there. And I think one of the reasons why isn't so much because of his play. He's played steady and solid for the Bills in the secondary. But I just don't know how you can overlook what Sam Darnold has done so far this season, guys. I mean, here's a guy that was really down and out. They ran him out of New York. They ran him out of Carolina. Last year, he went to San Francisco and really didn't get a chance to play behind Brock Purdy. And he goes to Minnesota. There were no guarantees he was even going to start the season in Minnesota. They drafted J.J. McCarthy with their first pick. And he not only plays, but he plays well. They're 12-2. It's been one of the biggest stories in the NFL this season. He's had career highs in just about every major statistical category as it relates to playing that position, wins and completion percentage and yards and touchdowns, and he's cut down on the mistakes. And so I think he's been one of the biggest stories in the NFL. And to overlook him, I think, would be a grave mistake. We all need some clarity when we get to the final vote here in a couple of weeks, but certainly Sam Darnold would have to be, I would think, on everybody's short list.
Wow. Now that is very strong. Okay, good to know. Do you think the Vikings can win. Okay, so if he were to win that award, can they win Comeback Player of the Year, Coach of the Year, and maybe Defensive Player of the Year as well?
They're having a special year. And I think you look at the job that Kevin O'Connell has done. Certainly, I think he's a favorite right now to win the award. I think, doing it with a quarterback like Sam Darnold, guys, not only as the head coach, but he's the play caller, right? And there's a handful of them in the NFL that do it really, really well. I think Kevin's one of them. I think he sees the game through the eyes of the quarterback. He played the position. He's coached the position. He was around Bill Belichick early in his career. He's been around some really good coaches, including Sean McVay. And I just think he's put this team in a great position. And they're a team that I think when they get into the postseason can do some damage. But certainly when you look at, Defensive Player of the Year, Comeback Player of the Year, Coach of the Year, got a lot of good things going on right now in Minnesota.
We started the show with the Falcons, and I like the move, try to save the season. What do you see when you watch film and when you're watching the games, what Cousins was doing or wasn't doing?
Well, I think you have to go back to the beginning of the season, right? They had a first-time play caller in Zach Robinson. He's never called plays before. I think there were some struggles early on with that part of it. I think his short yardage and goal line, they lost some games early in the season because they couldn't convert a 3rd and 1 or a 4th and 1. Kirk Cousins, guys, has some limitations, and I think we're seeing more and more of that now. We got a 36-year-old quarterback that's coming off of an Achilles rupture. He's not the same player he once was. This team was all in on him, a 4-year, $180 million contract, and they used their first-round pick on Michael Penix Jr. So it's a little bit of a head-scratcher there. I think the thought was, let's do what the Packers do. Let's have a quarterback, a veteran quarterback that we can win with now. It would be a huge upgrade over what we had a year ago. And also draft for the future and Michael Penix Jr., quarterback that we think after a couple years of seasoning can step in for Kirk Cousins. Well, no one thought it would be this soon. I think when you look at what's happened the last 5 weeks, we see a quarterback that's a shell of his former self. I think if you really want to go back to look at it, he played really good in back-to-back weeks against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Dallas Cowboys. But go back and look what happened a month ago or 5 weeks ago against the Denver Broncos. He got rocked. He got knocked down a lot. They got blown out in that game in Denver. The offensive line wasn't very good. The offensive line hasn't been great this year. And there's a couple of things that really bother me when you look at the play caller. He has 0 play-action passing touchdowns this season, 0. And if you look at from 2018 to 2023, those years in Minnesota, he had 69, an NFL high 69, right? 96% of his passes are from inside the pocket this season. 96%. So he's a statue back there in the pocket, right? He's in the gun all the time. They can't get him under center. That compromises what they're trying to do in the running game. It hurts that they don't even try to be a play action team. I just, you're not helping the quarterback at all. And I just think when you have a head coach that can't go over to the other side of the ball and fix the issues, and I don't think Raheem Morris is one of them. We have a lot of coaches, guys, in the NFL that can't fix problems on the other side of the ball. And I think he's one of those coaches. And I think they got a lot of problems right now. And I think you're in a desperate situation. You had that a month ago. They had the division locked up. They had beaten the Buccaneers twice. They all to do is just finish strong. Instead, they lose 4 of the last 5. And Kirk Cousins has been a turnover machine. Now they turn to an inexperienced rookie quarterback. They'll throw him in there, and you keep your fingers crossed that it's going to be better than what we've seen from Kirk Cousins. But I think when you look at what happened the other night against the Las Vegas Raiders, guys, they almost lost that game, and they had 3 takeaways, and they blocked 3 kicks. Now, think about that for just a second, how unusual that was.
Yeah, well said. As Mike McCarthy said, no one was more prepared than you. Out of everyone he's ever coached, you were a student of the game. What advice do you have for Penix Sunday?
Stay in his lane. I think this is, of all the situations that you come into, this is a good one, right? You're going up against a team that can't score any points. You're going up against a team that hasn't played well defensively for a while. And, all I have to do is make good decisions, take care of the football. I don't have to play like I'm at University of Washington, throw the ball 40 times and throw for 400 yards. I don't have to do that. We've got a good team around us, a good enough team, I should say, around us. But you're facing a team that's won 2 games. They're going to go back to Drew Lock at quarterback this week. I think they played 4 quarterbacks this season. They're not going to score a lot of points. And all I've got to do is make some good decisions. But I think this is, if you're asking for the perfect scenario to roll out a rookie quarterback, this would be the week against the Giants.
Let's follow the money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Our guest here on the Progressive Guest Line is former NFL MVP Rich Gannon. Can the Lions overcome all of these injuries on defense? If so, how do they do it?
I was looking at a stat today about the number. I think they have 21 players on IR, and 15 of those players on the defensive side of the ball. And it's not just any players, guys. It's their star players at all three levels: at defensive line, linebacker, secondary. It's a lot. I think they can. They've got the Bears this week. I think it's a winnable game because of their offense. I think their offense is good enough, explosive enough that you can put a lot of points. I just think defensively, it's just a lot. I worry. It's unbelievable because you think about the season that could have been maybe for the Lions. We were talking about them as a Super Bowl favorite, talking about a team that could win the NFC. And yet now when you look at their defense, I just don't know that it's good enough right now, or this team's good enough to be able to go into the postseason. And in order to win in the postseason, you can't have a weakness. And I think right now their defense is a glaring weakness. The Bills put up a lot of points on them. Everyone's putting a lot of points. The reason why they're getting by is because, this offense can score. Now without, Montgomery, now you've got Jahmyr Gibbs. They're just, honestly, I feel bad for Dan Campbell. He's done a great job with that team. Think about it, guys. A few years ago, they lost 13 games. This year, they've won 13 games. And now everything seems to be falling apart for the Lions from a health standpoint.
It's so unfortunate for that fan base that they have been through what they had, they've seen and lived through for their entire lifetime, basically. And I think they were truly destined for, to win the whole thing this year and the best team in football. And I don't know how any team, you select any team in the NFL and you put 15 players on one side of the ball in the IR. I don't care if they were the 2007 Patriots going into the Super Bowl. They weren't going to win that thing.
No, I'm just looking at the injury report here. It's unbelievable. I mean, you think about it's not just, the number of players that are on that list. It's who's on that list: Aiden Hutchinson, Carlton Davis, Anzalone, David Montgomery, Marcus Davenport, Malcolm Rodriguez, Derek Barnes. I mean, these are all, and the types of injuries: broken tibia, fibula, broken jaw, broken arm, MCL, ACL, tricep tear. I mean, it's just their snake bit. And it reminds me a little bit of what we've seen from the 49ers, guys. Just a really good football team to begin the season that just disintegrated because of all the injuries on both sides of the ball.
Rich, in like 30 seconds here, do you think Patrick Mahomes plays this weekend?
I think he does. I think he was on the practice field yesterday. The guy's amazing, guys. He's a prideful guy. He wants to be out there. They've got the Houston Texans coming in. It's an important game for them as well. I expect Patrick Mahomes not only to play, but to play well in this one.
Rich, as always, great stuff. Thanks so much for the time today. Enjoy the week.
Thanks, guys.
Happy holidays.
Yep, happy holidays. He joined us on the Progressive guest line. Well, I added more Sam Darnold to win Comeback Player of the Year while he was talking.
Hope he's a finalist.
Had to do it.
What a mess this is.
We have had this. I mean, they're playing games with this point spread. In a bowl game that we have coming up in, an hour from right now, it has been all over the place. We'll give you the latest on it next here on VSiN.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
I think we need to tell everybody what's going on in real time here with Comeback Player of the Year award markets. A lot of books just took down the award. Said, no, we don't want any more bets on this. We have no idea what's going to happen. We're not going to offer it anymore. It's too tricky, too difficult to figure out.
That's what I would do.
I bet it at 25-1, as we had Rich Gannon on, at a spot here in Las Vegas. They have since locked up the award market. So I can click on NFL Comeback Player of the Year, but every player has a lock next to their name. Can't get down.
Well, I wish you luck. I just don't know if he's going to be a finalist. And I wouldn't put it past Goodell to say, no, I want it to be one of these guys. And then does he get write-in votes, or how does that work? And we could go back to a couple years ago when Sirianni in December was a $4 favorite and he wasn't even a finalist for Coach of the Year. It's wild.
So we need some clarity on this. Here's how I think it works, though, Paul, because the awards are due like 48 hours after the regular season ends. I believe it's in that range. So all the award voters submit who they're going to vote for, and then the league takes the top 3 people who have received the most votes, and then they make them the 3 finalists. I think that's what they do. So if Rich Gannon, who just made a great case, and why he thinks Sam Darnold should absolutely get consideration for it, along with Adam Shine here on VSiN, he wrote at VSiN.com last night, Sam Darnold is his winner for Comeback Player of the Year.
Yep.
If they're saying that, enough people vote for him. So I bet he was also at other sports books that offered Comeback Player of the Year. They had a full menu of players but not Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
And now Sam Darnold has been placed back on the awards market at like 12-1. I bet some 12-1.
DK got rid of it. Caesars, Will Hill got rid of it. BetMGM had it up. Burrow, 1,600 favorite. Darnold not listed. Darnold since listed. Other books have punted on it. We read that article from Bet Online, the top trader there, what he said. It's a big headache. So what they did, and Goodell was pissed off what happened last year. They wanted Hamlin to win it. They didn't want a guy who was on his couch with the Sunday ticket watching games like us late in the season to win it, and that's what happened. So hence putting in the language there of, but then the unforeseen circumstances, all this other nonsense, and it's a headache for everyone involved. And if I'm running a book, I'd take it off. I wouldn't offer it.
Yeah, I'm sure that's the direction that most other books will probably go following today's bets that are going to keep coming in, I'm guessing.
Yeah, you might be right. Maybe 12, 14, 16-1 stealing. Who knows?
Yeah, could be. I know. I just personally think Joe Burrow is a ridiculous candidate to win the award. Again, he played 10 games last year. It was not a very significant injury, and he won the award already.
If I had a vote, I would vote for Patrick.
I think absolutely I would.
Can't say, well, what are you coming back from? I stunk. And every organization I went to, it didn't use me properly or, it didn't work out. That's not good enough for me. That's to me that's what Florio, where he's correct. He's most improved. He's not comeback player of the year.
That's right.
He's not coming back
from
anything.
The NFL needs to add that new award, and we can bet on that moving forward, right? It should just be comeback player of the year and also most improved player of the year.
Mm-hmm. Now, based on what happened today, I did add some bets on more coach of the year, which I'll tell you about. This I feel strongly about. Not the Darnold thing. It's coach of the year now after what we read today. Okay, are you ready? This is bananas, right? So we got the Boca Bowl, the Uncle Junior Bowl.
Okay,
right?
Explain all of this to me here.
We have rain. We have wind. You have the total moving, but then it was 6 up to 10, back down to 6.5, now up to 7. You got the James Madison quarterback who's out. I mean, you got everything here in these games. Look at the UNLV game in the LA Bowl. You have Cal 1.5 up to 4, back down to 1. Now UNLV lane 3.5.
3.5 everywhere, pretty much.
Yeah, you have a third string quarterback going for Cal. So you had Mendoza, the starter, hit the portal after Odom left and took the Purdue job. Then the OC left with him. So who's going to coach the team? What's going to go on there? And then you thought, great value here. Cal up to 4, 4.5. And then, offensive line issues. Quarterback hits the portal. Other guys hit the portal. And now you're looking at a third string quarterback in UNLV laying 3.5.
Right. So here's what happens early on in bowl season. And I did Will Hill, VSiN contributor. I did his podcast yesterday. And he was asking me what I'm looking at in some of these other bowl games. And I'm like, I got to be honest, I am treading extremely lightly on most of the bowl games until maybe like day of, until we know more information, or else I just completely pass. And the last night was a perfect example, right? All this movement on Memphis. They opened up as a 2.5 point dog in that range. They then quickly moved to the favorite 2.5, then 3, and it kept moving all the way up to like 6. And it landed 5 yesterday. Memphis got out to a huge lead in that game. And if you watched it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. After that first quarter, when West Virginia had fewer than 40 yards overall, Memphis could not get a stop to save their lives.
Yeah, the kid's going to take off and run.
Come on. This just in. And Clement, the wide receiver, he's going to be wide open. You might want to shadow him with somebody. So Memphis was going to blow that game. The coach lost his freaking mind last night.
Yep.
I don't know. And so did the running back. West Virginia has no timeouts left. You have the ball. All you got to do is run clock. He breaks off he gets chunk yardage. He runs out of bounds, stops the clock. You're like, what is happening here? And then on 4th and short, again, you can't stop West Virginia. You're winning by 5 points. Kind of a big deal with that number, right? Where it opened, where it closed, everything like this. He trots out his kicker, whose career long was 43 yards for 50. How do you think that went?
4th and 2.
Rather than going for it on 4th and 2.
I know.
And I got news for you. West Virginia's defense also stinks.
Uh-huh.
So you could have great numbers in pocket for 2 weeks, and all hell might break loose that night.
Yep.
Like, for example, you laid 4 with Cal after the Barry Odom news.
Oh, sure, disaster.
They might. What if they win by 7 tonight?
It's happened. I know. It's happened. But here, in James Madison trying for the first ever bowl win and 36 points per game, but now you're going with a backup quarterback, but also the numbers on Western Kentucky aren't good.
No.
And then the last time we saw them, just routed. Jacksonville State running all over them in the title game. And then the week before, when Jacksonville State was already in, they needed a walk-off field goal at the gun to beat them there, too. So their yards per play numbers stink. A lot of it's due to the Alabama game. But This one's tough, but we're gonna do this together. We're gonna get involved in play, and we're gonna see what the weather looks like coming up when we dance at 2:30. The other game.
Well, hold on real
sure.
quick, and I'll explain this again. Because, as you mentioned, the game opened up JMU -7. You said touch 10?
Yeah.
I saw 9.5, came all the way back down to 6.5. Again, here's what, and the reason why it went up, several Western Kentucky players announced that they intended to transfer, and they hit the transfer portal. So it goes up to 9.5. And then all of a sudden they said, well, but you know what? We're going to stick around and play in the game.
That's right. That's the Brad Powers thing. Guys say they're hitting the portal, but they still play. Yep.
So
get this mess.
Again, once you get that news, you're like, okay, This is a great bet. I beat everybody else to it. Books couldn't adjust fast enough. And then, oops, hold on a second here. There's more news on it. They changed their minds.
Yep. So the shenanigans in the LA Bowl, the late game. I mean, UNLV hasn't won a bowl game since 2000. 2000.
Hell, what is this? Their fourth one since then?
So it's big for this university and the kids, maybe, you'd think. I don't know. It goes back to like UNLV in the heyday, trying to sell kids to come here and play basketball and using the glory days. These kids weren't alive. They don't know who Larry Johnson is and Stacey Augmon. So it's like, okay, you haven't won a bowl game since 2000, but you do have Williams playing. They have their quarterback, and Cal's playing a third-string quarterback. So I don't know. You're excited about the future. You do get Dan Mullen now, but a 10-win team that hung in there in both games against Boise, and the other loss was against Syracuse. I would think a 6-6 Cal team here. I think UNLV should be able to put them away now, going against a third-string quarterback and a ton of injuries and other issues for Cal.
Yeah, third-string quarterback and other guys in the portal as well, including their leading receiver.
Yes.
So they're down quite a bit. And Haj Malik Williams, by the way, showed that he's a pretty damn college football quarterback after Sluka left the program. Overall, his number is 1,845 yards passing. The TD to INT ratio was 17-5, and he is the team's second leading rusher. Pretty good overall.
Yep. Money on Sam Houston. That's down to 4.5. Money on Ohio, up to 4.5. Money on Tulane, down to 11.5. I mean, it's crazy what the markets are doing here the last couple of days. Notre Dame down to 7.
I was going to say money on Indiana, right?
Yep. Supposed to snow. Could get a storm tomorrow night. Sports betting and trading probabilities are key to success. Discover the power of high probability trading with Todd Bubba Horwitz, former floor trader and sports bettor with over 45 years of experience. Sounds like Paul Bovey. Visit BubbaTrading.com/VSiN. Use code VSiN500 to save $500. Don't miss the chance to gain the edge in your trading game today. BubbaTrading.com/VSiN. Promo code VSiN500. BubbaTrading.com. Welcome aboard. Good to have you.
There was also this. We talked about this for a full segment yesterday. Green Bay basketball coach Doug Gottlieb and radio host as well played Michigan Tech today. I guess some faraway places had Green Bay a 9.5-point favorite. They lost.
Yeah, up 10 at halftime.
So if you want to count that one, that's now what, at least 8 straight losses against the spread?
So I looked. You do not mess with the Michigan Tech Huskies. I looked. This is like Minnesota Duluth when I lived in the armpit of the world, Superior, Wisconsin. I had a cup of coffee there at 2 years.
Boy, you haven't traveled much. That's God's country.
You're talking about Winona State, Concordia, Minnesota Duluth. That's in their league. These are the teams they play on the schedule.
Right.
This is horrendous for Gottlieb.
Right, and I know that this has been making the rounds on Twitter today. Not like a week and a half ago. He said, well, we're going to be playing nobody you and win by 20 points. What's the point of that? And then today he came out and he goes, I never said anything like that. This is like an all-time sports betting moment that we have here.
I think you have it, yes.
Win some, lose some, coming up next.
Last night? Wow, winning. Or was it a rough one?
Well, they can't all be winners, can they?
Loser! You're a loser! Pauly Howard recaps the night in sports betting in Win Some, Lose Some.
Milwaukee, the good land. Bucks 12-1, 14-1. Win the NBA Cup. Good future ticket. Wherever you shop, they get it done. And they were plus 190 last night as well. Giannis triple-double, 6-1. And the Bucks are hot.
They did not celebrate. They left the champagne on ice.
All right. Well, veteran club, work to be done. Major disappointment the last couple of years. Fair enough. Missouri, Kansas City, 8-1. 13-point dogs to Wichita. San Diego having a good year. Plus 425. 11-point dogs beat Utah State. Handed the Aggies their first loss. Denver plus 425. Holy Cross plus 450. All winners last night in college hoops on the money line. So I'm not talking Bitcoin. I'm not talking, I should have held on to this stock, whatever. I want to know the biggest regret you have. Sports memorabilia, card collecting, something you had that was worth money and you let it go, sold it too early, didn't pay attention, whatever. Because this market, and Darren Ravel is now involved with this too, but it's exploded what's happened, card collecting and the memorabilia industry. The Mickey Mantle card. Same card, 3 sales, 13 years. 2011, 22,000. 2023, 422,000. Oh. 2024, 793,000. The Mickey Mantle autograph card, and this thing's in poor condition and what it's worth now. And then Rovell told the story, like in the late 80s, he was at a guy's bar mitzvah, and he paid him to be there, and the guy says, I have the 1952 card. I wonder if I should have him sign it. Yeah, he goes, no. God knows what that's worth now. Millions of dollars. And here, this goes from 22,000 to 793,000 in 11 years, how this market's exploded.
The first person to sell it back in 2011 has to be sick.
Sure.
Because it went up by, 20 times the original sale price in 12 years?
That's your big boy, along with the Honus Wagner card. But yeah, right.
My dad had 3 of them when he went to the military. Came back, they're gone.
Gone, yeah. And you think you know who did it.
True story, verified, yep.
Oh, boy.
Yep.
But I had the Michael Jordan Fleer card. My mom went to the grocery store one day and bought me 10, 12 packs. I got the whole set out of those packs. And then I moved so many times and I put it in the corner. I didn't think I had the Jordan rookie card. I had the whole set.
The Jordan Fleer rookie card.
But it was a nick on the corner, and then it's, between the grading and all that. But that's one thing. It's like, if you didn't think at the time in the mid-'80s, you were a kid, but you take care of this stuff. Just like when you were your dad was growing up with the Mantle cards or whatever.
Do you have any idea what that Fleer rookie of Jordan is worth today?
If it's the 10 grade, whatever, that's a big boy. That's a big boy.
Is that $1 million?
Yeah. I don't know if it's that high, but I wouldn't surprise me. Send them in.
Don't even look. Don't even look at that.
I won't. Yeah. I play it out in Survivor. FTM at VSiN.com or tweet at us as well. Memorabilia business or card collecting if you were sitting on a jackpot, a gold mine as well. Lose some. This is great. At Pauly Does Vegas on Instagram. Subscribe, be part of the team. The lady's trying to go to dinner, right? She's got dinner reservations. And her lab has other ideas. It just comes in, and he keeps jumping in the pool over and over again. She's like, come on, I got to dry you off. Come here. Give me your toy back. Nope, it hit to the left. There we go. Right back in. It's like back to back cannonballs, right? She goes, I have dinner reservations. Come on. And he's having none of it. She can't corral him, and he keeps going in the pool over and over again, and he's soaking wet, and he's having a good time. It's like, oh, okay, I blew dinner. There you go. We don't deserve him. So good. We'll put that up later at Pauly Does Vegas on Instagram. An oldie but a goodie. Again, this was still... Someone sent this in. It was on X the other day. The Bulldog just loves the snow, burying his head in the drifts, coming in face first, right? Like Walter Payton, put your head down and give me 5 yards. Look at him coming in. And this guy's all about the snow. Like Pacino and Scarface. Put your whole face in there. Yeah? Oh, that's good. Oh, I love that. Shaking it off. I've never seen a dog do that. Just put the whole face in there. I don't know where you found this. Male response to how's it going severity scale. Pretty good. Not good. Can't complain. Rough couple of weeks. It's going. Alcohol and cigarettes keeping me going. Just another day in paradise. Hates his job, wife, and life. Things couldn't be better. Gonna park on the train tracks.
That is so spot on.
Yes.
Another good response. Yeah, I'll see you at the bar tonight. I know exactly what that means.
Oh, man. Sure.
Just another day in paradise. Yeah. You hate everything in your life.
Yeah, that's right. That's Superior, Wisconsin, baby. There you go. Ready to elevate your... Oh, no, one more. I got bad for the books. Memphis, plus 2.5 up to 6. Back down to 5.5. And the over 56.5 up to 60. Boom. Falls 5. Ready to elevate your tailgate game? You have to try Sewell's. Born from a backyard cookout in a mason jar of unforgettable flavor, Sewell has become a Southern favorite, lighting up taste buds from Georgia to the Carolinas. From ribs and wings to a backyard burger, Sewell's takes every bite to the next level. Order online, Sewell'sBarbecueSauce.com. Southern hospitality never tasted so good. Sewell'sBarbecueSauce.com.
Okay, so that bowl game today, the Boca Raton Bowl, kicks off in theory, 40 minutes at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 2:30 out here. And we're getting a bunch of feedback from that area right now on X, VSiN Live, at Mitch Moss Radio, at Pauly Howard. Email is ftm@vsin.com. This is from Hagen, who lives on Florida's Atlantic coast, north of the area. And he explains that these rain bands are narrow in nature, similar to the ones in Northern California this time of year. It could be raining like hell 10 miles away and sunny when you are at. It only depends. These showers are not moving much. There's rain north and south of Boca Raton right now, but not over the city at this time. And this is from Steven, ftm@vsin.com. Current weather here, 80 and sunny. I live 30 minutes north. No weather issues as we speak. I'll trust them. They live there. They've been through this.
Yeah.
Right? They probably understand what it's like for the rain in Florida on a daily or whatever it is basis.
The wind could be your big boy, though, too. See if that happens. But, yeah, maybe everything cooperates. It's like what's going to go on Friday night in South Bend. Going to be cold, okay, but 30% chance of snow? Maybe a snowstorm comes Thursday night. Dr. Gebhardt said, someone who lives 20 minutes away, they're expecting a storm Thursday night. Who knows?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Another common response, how's it going, when you ask any man? This is from Duke. Living the dream.
Oh, that's a good one.
Oh, that's a really good one.
Living the dream.
No, you're not. It's an absolute nightmare. We all know it. That's that's a hint, right? I'm living the dream. Another day in paradise. Oh, this guy is living through torture right now as we speak.
This is from Sean, ftm@vsin.com. The decision is sitting right in front of me. Casual fan. My wife went to Penn State. My son's a current student. I'm 4 hours away. My son's going to the game. I have a lot of friends that are going. My wife is out. No interest because of the weather. Pros. Awesome tailgate with my son and friends. Ridiculously cheap tickets. Cons. The drive, the weather, the hotel, bunch of Hampton Inns, Marriott Courtyards, $1,000 a night, the food, mediocre restaurants. Difficult to watch all the other games because I'm dealing with traffic. Lines at every bar in town waiting outside in the elements. Did I mention the weather, the drive? I'm not going. Sean, Empire Liquors. Wines and spirits. Mixologist.
So he talked it out, made up his mind as he's running down all the cons.
Yeah, right.
He had 2 pros to going.
Yeah.
4-hour drive, though, and all the weather and everything else. The cons just endless. Okay.
Right. And Dr. Gebhardt is on the show Friday. Again, 4 tickets on the 40-yard line. He's attacking it this way, though, because still the expectations for Penn State and then what could be coming. He's never been in this position before. He went to Indiana. He goes, they've sucked my whole life. Here I am. They're playing Notre Dame, Battle of Indiana, and then we're in the playoffs, and we were supposed to be atrocious this year, and here we are.
And how old is the fine doctor, by the way?
Well, he's up there in age, yeah.
He's a great dude.
Great, yeah, phenomenal doctor, great guy, yes. He goes, I wouldn't miss this for anything.
I get it.
Once in a lifetime.
Totally understand that.
Yeah, breaking it down, I'm going 4 tickets, let's go.
But isn't that funny?
I'm calling you from the stadium, weather update, come on.
That's awesome, and he lives out here in Las Vegas, obviously. Yeah. Sean is 4 hours from there. Son's going, friends are going. Not me.
Yeah.
Not me.
Oh, weather the drive, yeah.
Yeah. It's, I think,
it's a tough scene.
28 for a high that day
in
that area.
Right. Well, if you love the sport, too, there's that element about, hey, I'd like to watch the other games. And then I'm stuck here. But that's, to each his own.
I'll give you a honest answer to, like, games that you got to knock off with the bucket list. I have, like, zero desire to go to a Super Bowl. I don't want to be at a Super Bowl live. I covered, like, 10 of them. I was happy to come home before the game. Yeah. But I would flip that and tell you that I would love to go to an AFC or NFC championship game, because here's the deal with that. Let's say that you're going to go to the AFC game and that's the late game. Well, you can go to the local bar across from the stadium and watch the NFC game or tailgate all day with TVs and then go to the game. You're not going to miss a damn thing.
If I got tickets, I would sell them. I'd pull the Mike Tice. I would sell my Super Bowl.
But also, you're going to get that home environment in the championship games. You're not going to have the stuffy crowd at the Super Bowls.
Absolutely.
I think AFC, NFC Championship Sunday it would be the much better atmospheres to be at. Sal Palantonio on the program coming up next. We'll get his thoughts on a big Thursday night game, the 2 Saturday games, and also I think he has a strong opinion on the Vikings at the Seahawks. That's coming up next here on VSiN.